Many of us who have watched movies know when the policeman reaches the scene of crime, right? After the hero has more or less solved it, or towards the end when the honors have to be done, that is the time when the police reach. Normally bureaucrats are also like that. They will talk about a scam only after it reaches a particular size. So in India, I think the figure is 50,000 crores. So only when the fraud size is 50,000 crores do the authorities think it is necessary to wake up and act. Till then it's all saying, oh, it's nothing, it is not our jurisdiction. So all the regulators internally will maybe they don't meet, or maybe they meet and they decide whose jurisdiction it is, and so whether they should do it at all, whether they should do anything at all. So I was quite surprised to see the Office of Fair Trade in UK doing a report on scams and something about scams. So there's one sad part of the study, but that I'll talk about it later. But here I'm more or less reading from a summary of the report, because the original report I couldn't find. The OFT office has been closed, so I couldn't find the original report. So here is the view that the study was done by the University of Exeter and on behalf of the OFT, and they say it gives a good valuable insight. First is, it says up 20% of the UK population can be vulnerable to scams. I think the figure in India should also be somewhat similar. Very many of us are open to scams simply because we don't pay enough attention. Second, it says good background knowledge of the scam offer, such as experience of investments, may actually increase the chances of it being a scam. Simply because you are very confident that you will be able to control it. For example, let me give you a person who's a chartered accountant, had a very good knowledge of IT, was working in IT as a director in some place, and he gets a phone call from an unknown number asking him for his State Bank of India login password, something like that. Long back. This was long back, maybe 10 years ago or 8 years ago, when these scams were not so common, or where scams were perhaps there, but it was not so visible. And so he was very smart, like I said. So he immediately checked out the phone number, and it said SBI office chairman, SBI chairman office, whatever, something like that. So he was very impressed. He thought, oh, it must be from the SBI chairman's office. So he gave the number and lost 5,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees was not a very big amount for him, but he lost it. And here again, this overconfidence, saying that things can't go wrong for me, is what cost him. But it's very simple. He did not understand. He understood how banking works. He did not understand how call identifying service works. If I take a new SIM card and save it as President Obama or whatever, and ask 5 or 10 friends of mine to save it as President Obama, and I call you from that number, it will say President Obama, right? Simple. I can change it, but right now it will say President Obama, because many people have saved it as President Obama. Now President Obama, you will believe, is not fair from the voice and from the number and all that. But when it says SBI chairman office, well, he got conned, right? So good background does not really help, because it might actually make you overconfident. Another thing which I have seen, which this study also says, is when you are a victim, you don't even want to admit it, and you will never ever admit it to your family, and you will never admit it to your advisor, because you're afraid your advisor will talk about it to others, which is your boss or your brother or your neighbor or somebody, because you get an advisor like that because he's come to you through a reference, that you're afraid that he'll go and tell all his friends or his clients, or somebody saying, you remember that guy, this is what he did and this is how he lost money. So whatever be the reason, people don't talk about it. Husbands don't tell the wives, wives don't tell the husband, forget telling the outer world. So that is another thing which they have also observed, and they like to keep it private. The research also found that many scammers use high persuasive techniques. This is something which I have noticed. They'll keep on calling you, they'll pester you into buying a product, making a part payment, etc. And once you make a part payment, people then think they owe. Then the behavioral finance kicks in, saying, if I don't make further payment, whatever I have paid will go. So the first payment is 9,000, second payment is 24,000. There is a compulsory payment of 3 lakhs. When the figure reaches 9 lakhs, people wake up and say, oh my God, this is shit, because The 24,000 was made to pay the 9,000. The 3 lakhs was paid to save the 33,000. Then the 3,33,000 had to be saved, so another 10 lakhs was paid, or 6 lakhs was paid. So this is what happens, and this happens regularly. Another reason why scams happen is when people reach a stage in life when they want to get married. Let's say there is a 40-year-old woman who is not getting married, but suddenly she finds some matrimonial ad when she finds a guy who is a perfect con artist, and after depriving her of 3-4 crores, 2 crores, then this woman realizes that she has been had. Then she goes, talks, and goes to the police and lodges a complaint. So this is another type of scam which happens. And it says the research provides sophisticated, heartless and calculating psychological techniques used by scammers to exploit consumers. Scams have a devastating effect on emotional as well as financial impact. I just saw a heroine in Hindi movies, or a small bit role she used to play. She's given 4.5 crores to a person whom she met in the gym, did not check his office, did not check what he was doing, did not check where the check was going. And now she's lodged a complaint saying that, I think it was purely a case of husband-wife kind of a relationship, or rather a courtship kind of the relationship, and things were going fine, did not bother to check what was happening, and suddenly you wake up one day. If you've signed a single check of 4 crore, I can understand, but you have not signed a single check of 4 crore, you have given partially. But then a scam is a scam. After you lose money, it really devastates you. But yes, she must be devastated. I like this study, except for the case that this study was done with just 25 people. And I would be able to find 25 people in my locality who have been scam hit, right? So I don't know how much this study is very relevant, but some of these conclusions seem to be right, and I think similar things would be happening in India. And I think our regulators should also start doing a study on what kind of scams happen, how people lose money, how much they lose, what do they do when they lose, where do they complain, and what the regulator does. To me, that is a question which is very difficult to answer. You must have noticed I don't have too much hope in regulators being able to help you. The only way you can help yourself is by being better at financial education, learning more and more, seeing what kind of scams happen, and being little skeptical about any offer which you get which you do not need. Thank you.